Hello and welcome to Valuechain News. I am Naomi Oleribe. First, the headlines. OPEC raises Nigeria's oil production quota for May. Kenyan International develops device to combat oil theft and vandalism. Maritime workers threaten to resume strike over IOC's defiance of marine procedures. And now, the news in detail. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, has raised Nigeria's crude oil production quota from the 1.735 million barrels per day to 1.753 million barrels per day for May 2022. The quota was increased on Thursday at its 27th OPEC and non-OPEC ministerial meeting, but Nigeria has been unable to meet its targets following the conclusion of the 27th OPEC and non-OPEC ministerial meeting held via video conference on March 31st, 2022. It was noted that continuing oil market fundamentals and the consensus on the outlook pointed to a well-balanced market and that current volatility is not caused by fundamentals but by ongoing geopolitical development, the organization stated. The development comes on the heels of a 7 million per day loss recorded by the organization due to the Russian-Ukraine war. His Excellency Sanusi Bakindo, Secretary General for OPEC, had disclosed at the 61st meeting of the Joint Technical Committee that the potential loss of Russian oil and other liquid exports, either through sanctions or voluntary action, is already having major repercussions on energy markets. The Chief Executive Officer and Founder, Kenyan International West Africa Limited, Mr. Victor Ekpenyong, says the indigenous oil servicing firm has developed a homegrown solution to oil theft and vandalism. To this end, the oil firm has urged the federal government and oil operators to leverage on the expertise of Nigerian firms to check oil theft and increase oil production. Ekpenyong announced that the solution, which the company refers to as Idle Well Management Solution, was currently being deployed in some oil fields and has proved cost-effective and efficient. The solution, according to him, includes installation of anti-theft devices on wellheads that makes it impossible to steal crude or vandalize wellheads. Ekpenyong said that the package to secure oil installations relies on idle well management practice, which helps to monitor idle wells, preventing them from vandalism and theft. He expressed optimism that if the solution was adopted across all oil fields, oil production would take an upward swing and enable Nigeria benefit from the rising oil prices. The Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, MWUN, has threatened to resume its suspended strike across the nation's ports without further notification due to the refusal of the international oil companies, IOCs, to comply with the country's marine regulation and procedures. The union had last month threatened to embark on industrial action but suspended it due to intervention from several stakeholders. Speaking with journalists at the weekend, President General of the MWUN, Adeyanju Adewale, said out of 30 IOCs operating in the country, only 3 have complied, thus making Nigeria lose huge revenue in the oil and gas sector. The MWUN boss urged the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, and his petroleum counterpart, Timi Silver, to show more commitment in the maritime sector. The The Ministerial Council of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, has agreed to continue to compensate for the reduction in production by 43,200 barrels per day in April by distributing the increase to the countries contributing to the reduction, as Libya will be excluded from contributing to the reduction. This was made known during the 27th meeting of Oil and Gas Ministers and the Council of Ministers of Oil Exporting Countries, held through the video conferencing Zoom with the participation of ministers of non-OPEC oil exporting countries. Iran's foreign minister has reiterated that Iran was waiting for the U.S. to respond to Tehran's suggestion for resolving the roadblocks to a revived nuclear deal. Talks in Vienna have been on hold for the past months as negotiators quibble over a Trump-era decision to designate the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a foreign terrorist organization. Iran wants the designation removed. The 2015 accord limited Iran's atomic activities in return for the easing of U.S. sanctions, including on oil exports. Over the weekend, the UN said a Saudi-led military coalition and Iranian-backed Houthi fighters had agreed to a 2-month truce for their fighting in Yemen. That may ease regional tensions and make U.S. allies such as Saudi Arabia less wary of the Iran deal being revived. The United States Department of State has said that the U.S. Consulate building to be constructed at Eco Atlantic City, Victoria Island, Lagos, will inject at least $95 million into the Nigerian economy over the course of its construction. In her remarks at the groundbreaking ceremony, Ambassador Mary Leonard expressed appreciation to the federal government and the Lagos state government for their support. She said the project would further strengthen the bilateral relations between Nigeria and the U.S. while also contributing to the Nigerian economy. Our vision for the Consulate campus is to create a facility that both honors the vibrant relationship between the United States and Nigeria and communicates the spirit of American democracy, transparency, and openness, she remarked. Before we end the news, here's a recap of our headlines. OPEC raises Nigeria's oil production quota for May. Kenyan International develops device to combat oil theft and vandalism. Maritime workers threaten to resume strike over IOC's defiance of marine procedures. And that's the news. I am Naomi Oleribe. Good evening.